Hi, my name's Tom Doran. I'm with Intergraph Corporation, and I'd like to welcome Egbert Stuit, Corporate Manager of Royal Dutch Shell's Business Improvement Program in its Project and Technology Division. Welcome to HxGN Live, Egbert.
Thank you very much, Tom.
I have to point out, before we get into some of the particular questions of this interview, last night, HxGN CEO Ulla Roland and Intergraph's President Gerhard Salinger recognized Royal Dutch Shell and you directly for your innovations via the Shaping Change Award for innovations in cloud computing.
Indeed, yeah, I was very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's impressive. Shell's really done some interesting things in cloud computing, and we look forward to hearing your comments today. One question I might have for you, Egbert, is, hosted computing is solutions is not necessarily a new thing in the business, but your move, Shell Oil's move into cloud computing signals a real step change in the industry today, a real change in thought leadership, not only for Shell and its capital project executions, processes, but also for its EPCs. What are your thoughts on all that today?
Yeah, so it started, and I must thank Intergraph as well for our joint effort in moving the whole cloud solutions forward. A couple of years ago, we together decided to do something about the way data and documents are handled in capital projects. Every capital projects today, not only in Shell, but in many other plant owners, the way data and documents are handled in projects is pretty complicated, a very manual process. We had an idea to move that into a different space, and together with you, I think we achieved to where we are today. So I think the award is also a little bit to you, so thank you for that.
Sure.
So solving the problems that we saw a few years ago with getting data out of EPCs and owning it as a plant owner is difficult, because every plant owner of EPC has their own systems, their own standards, and so we started initially with specifying contracts better on what data and documents should look like when the project is done. But that didn't really give us the full benefits of what we see is possible. Mm-hmm. So we decided to build a cloud solution together with you, so that EPCs can work in that environment and everything becomes transparent, so that data is available for us from day one, and handover to operations is easy. Project setup is suddenly becoming much easier, because standard tools, typically on the beginning of a capital project, it takes a few months, especially in the bigger projects with consortia, for projects to set up their environment with selecting the tools and selecting the templates. That's all becoming easier now with our own environment that we offer to capital projects. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah. Shell has a very rigorous safety philosophy that is, of course, applied to all of Shell operations around the world as well as its suppliers. How do you see this approach? I think you call it Goal Zero, working within the SIEE environment, the cloud environment. Do you see that working well with this type of setting?
Yeah, what I think helps a lot is visualization of work. Yeah? So if you have a project plan of thousands of line items on work that needs to be done, if you can visualize that with a 3D model and later on with 4 and 5D technologies, it makes it visual, and you can sequence the work, and you can see if the sequence of work, if a welder is welding at the first floor, if another activity underneath is taking place at the same time, that's then a dangerous situation. Yeah. So with the technologies that we are putting in place today, you can analyze that work way in advance, and it will help us getting to a much better safety performance in Shell, but I think beyond Shell. Mm-hmm.
And you intend to apply these safety standards through SIEE around the world then in all your projects?
That's the intent, yeah. So as you know, Shell has a very high standard on safety. Also with our contractors and subcontractors, there's a very rigorous process, and anything we can do to make sure that people come home safe every day is worth putting the effort in. So that's what we're doing.
You know, SIEE, the cloud solution from Shell, is very well suited for your world-class, very large greenfield type projects. But you know, I know Shell is one of the largest companies, oil companies in the world, has many brownfield type projects. How do you see SIEE working within the brownfield environment?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, also noted in a keynote session this morning, the majority of projects basically are brownfield projects. So there are greenfield projects that we are currently doing with the Smart Plant Cloud technology, but we also have to find a solution for the brownfield project. So we initially started with greenfield projects, but now we are focusing on the brownfield projects specifically, because that's where the big numbers are in terms of number of projects, plan changes, small projects, and they are typically around an asset. So what we are currently looking at is implementing a Smart Plant Cloud for an asset, defining a work in progress area where we take legacy data out of the asset, put it in the Smart Plant Cloud environment for that particular small project, and when the project is done, we publish it to a clean environment, starting empty, but in the new Smart Plant Cloud technology. And then over time, it will progress, and every time we do a small project, we enrich the new as-built environment, and hopefully there will be a tipping point over time where you have sufficient content in the new environment where it makes sense to retain that and retire the old. And on top of that, with technologies like laser scanning and fusion and all the other great tools that Intergraph and HxGN are offering, we try to make that old world and legacy world and new world, try to make that seamless.
I assume you see it. Do you see the value HxGN provides to Shell's business environment, bringing in laser scanning from Leica Geosystems, and then the engineering tools from Intergraph and metrology's measurement capabilities? It's quite a unique offering, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. And a lot of brownfield projects are basically existing assets. The margins are low, so they can't afford a big investment in converting all the legacy into a new environment. So with laser scanning and with fusion, you just unlock all these legacy data and documents into a new tools, which is fantastic.
Sure. Yeah. You know, on the design side of the house, earlier today, Charles Evans and Patrick Holcomb and Melanie Eakes, along with Garrett Salinger, our president, discussed how Smart Plant Enterprise and Smart Plant 3D in particular, and its model data reuse can be applied to different kinds of projects. Showed some excellent examples out there. Reuse and replicate is a pretty important thing to Shell Oil these days. How do you see that playing out and being of value to your environment?
Yeah, so there was a fantastic example indeed this morning in the keynote session. That's also what we aspire in Shell. So we are having a number of big programs that are set up to do replication. So design once and build many is the concept. But you have to have, you need to design for replication. That means there's a different mindset with the engineering people in Shell, but also with the EPCs, so that once something is designed, you can truly pick it up, containerize it almost, treat it as a module, and reuse that in other projects, because we believe that if we do that right, the cost of capital projects will go down, and the time needed to execute a capital project will significantly reduce. And to be honest, it's needed because, to keep up with world energy demand, we need to do projects faster, cheaper, and safer.
Sure. Yeah. You know, over the last couple of years, I'm sure you have been traveling the earth, talking to all the different engineering contractors about this whole concept of SIEE. How's the reaction? Is it, are they nervous? To the contracting community, are they nervous? Are they gung-ho? What are your thoughts today? What's the state of affairs?
Yeah, you're right. We we realized that if we want to change the industry, and not only within Shell, but also with the EPCs, and change the way we are dealing with capital projects, something has to change. So we put a lot of effort in engaging with all the top EPCs wherever they are. We are organizing EPC conferences. In April was the second time we did that. To be honest, a few years ago they were a little bit nervous, changing their ways of working, prescribing the tools that they need to use. They are afraid of impacting their workflows and processes. But if I now look back in these 2 years that we are doing these engagements with the EPCs, I must say they've been working with us in a fantastic way. Yeah. And a lot of EPCs themselves now look at, and well, you know that, they are looking at Smart Plant Cloud for their own projects where they are in the lead. And that is only confirming that we are on the right track. And if the EPCs see the opportunity to use these new technologies for the projects that where they are in the lead, that means that Shell or other plant owners at the end of the project basically get what they need to run the projects in the way they are supposed to run, and get the data to run the asset in the 30 years beyond. Sure,
sure. This EPC forum that Shell had, I believe it was at your headquarters in The Hague in the Netherlands.
Yes.
How does that work for you? You have all of the big EPCs joined together for a forum with Intergraph and Shell, and and review the state of affairs. Huh?
Yeah, no, that's the response is very good. So this was the second year we did this. It's 15 EPCs globally who sent their engineering people, their IT people to the conference in Rijswijk. And basically we talk about the vision where data and documents handling in a capital project should go, what tools are required to get there, what impact it has on the ways EPCs are working, and basically because we are having the conversation every time, not only during the EPC forums but throughout the year, I think a lot of the nervousness has gone. And if you look at the response of the EPCs during these big events, they are extremely supportive. So we're very excited about the way we work with all these EPCs. Yeah.
Well, Shell Oil is certainly shaping change in the marketplace today, and you're doing some big thinking on how to improve and how to change the way projects are done globally. It's quite impressive. It's quite impressive, and I know Intergraph's quite happy to be engaged with such a great company. So we thank you for that, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of all of HxGN for your attendance in the conference, and we wish you and Royal Dutch Shell only the very best.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you very much.